Today I'm going to share the number one factor most doctors don't tell you that boosts your fertility no matter the age. Hi, it's Eva here with Natural Fertility Prescription. I help people optimize their fertility naturally and prepare for a healthy pregnancy and a healthy baby. So what is this one thing that most doctors don't tell you about when it comes to getting pregnant and staying pregnant? Well, it's the preconception care. And today we're going to look at 9 ways you can boost your fertility naturally. So, what are these 9 areas that you need to take into the consideration? So the first one is a detox. We live unfortunately, in a very polluted world. Okay, we've got toxins in our water, toxins in our air, toxins in our food, and also in our homes and our work environments. Okay, so you can be exposed to pesticides, you can be exposed to exhaust fumes from the cars, which are full of heavy metals. At home and in your office, you can also be getting exposed to electromagnetic radiation, which is not ideal either. So you need to have a reset by first of all identifying which chemicals you're coming into contact with and eliminating them. Okay, before we even start taking supplements, before we start optimizing your diet, you first need to remove the things from your environment and from your diet which have been shown to have a negative impact on your fertility. Okay, so you need to check the products you're using on your skin, products you're using for cleaning your home, and also which foods you're eating. Is your diet mostly organic or not? So that's really, really important. Then we come to the diet. Okay, once you cleaned out the environment, once you cleaned out your diet, once you can focus on building up your system, you start looking at a diet. Okay, so for fertility we recommend eating mostly organic food. Okay, the more organic it is, the better, because you're minimizing the exposure to pesticides, and pesticides have been shown to be endocrine disruptors, so they can disrupt your hormonal balance and can predispose to poor quality eggs and sperm and other hormonal imbalances in the system. So when it comes to diet, for fertility, you want to be having enough good quality proteins and good quality fats. This is really key. And on top of that, you want to be consuming 5 to 6 serves of vegetables a day. Focus on the vegetables which grow above the ground rather than below the ground, because the veggies below the ground tend to be very rich in starches, and they're not ideal because they can spike your insulin, and your insulin, when it's elevated, is interfering with the production of steroid hormones such as estrogen, progesterone, and testosterone. You also want to be including low GI fruits, so things like strawberries, blueberries, raspberries, and other fruits in season. So it could be apples, could be pears, could even be bananas. But it's important that you have a balanced diet and that you have a fresh diet. Okay, so not processed, and try to prepare the food as much as possible yourself, because then you are in control of the ingredients that you're using. When you're going to a restaurant, even though it's fun, you don't control what ingredients they use in preparation of their food. All right, the next area are the tests. You first of all need to know where potential problems may be in your system. And to identify this, you need to run some tests. Now, when you're going to just a conventional fertility clinic, an IVF clinic, they're going to check your reproductive system, they will check the sperm, but they may not look beyond that. And it's important that you do. It's important that you understand if you have any nutrient deficiencies, if you've got some toxicities. You also need to check for your hormone balance, as well as potential issues with the immune system. Oftentimes, infertility, unexplained infertility, can be linked to an autoimmune condition that hasn't been identified yet. So it's really important that you run a series of tests, and don't forget to check your thyroid. And if you're checking your thyroid, you need to do the full panel where you're also looking at the thyroid antibodies, because these are very important if you have them, and you need to also address them. Now, once you have a clear picture of what's going on with you, where the deficiencies are, where we need to balance things out, you can start using supplements, okay? Because this is now where it makes sense to introduce certain supplements, because we know exactly what we need to treat. So you're not just taking everything under the sun that's available out there, which is what we see a lot with many of our patients. You're actually taking targeted supplements for the specific issues which have been identified within your system. And this is key. And it's also key that you're taking good quality supplements, practitioner range supplements, which come in therapeutic dosages, which can often be much higher than what you can buy yourself over the counter. But these dosages may be necessary to correct the underlying issue. Then, on top of that, you need to become aware of your cycle. When exactly are you fertile? A lot of women think around cycle day 14, and while a 28-day cycle is a textbook perfect cycle, most women don't have a 28-day cycle, and you don't have to have a 28-day cycle to get pregnant and to have a healthy baby. So you need to understand how long is your cycle, how long is the follicular phase. So that's the phase from your period to ovulation. When do you ovulate? When is your fertile phase? Does it last for a few days, or is it just, one day? And then you need to monitor the second phase, which is the luteal phase, to see if the temperature is rising or not, to tell if you are producing adequate amounts of progesterone. So this is very valuable information. And once you know when your fertile window is, you can time your intercourse. You can identify it even without measuring your temperature later. But initially, it's good to do the temperature measurements and to check for the fertile mucus, just to get a good idea of what's going on with your cycle and how long is the follicular phase, how long is the luteal phase, okay? So that you become very familiar also with your own body. It's a great way to get to know how your system works. Then genetic testing is really important, and we really recommend to everyone to get tested for genetic polymorphisms. And this is to see if you're able to absorb the nutrients which are key for fertility, such as folic acid, B12, vitamin D, and so on. So we recommend that our patients get this test done so that we can tailor their prescription even more to their genetic polymorphisms. And when you're taking supplements for your genome, it doesn't get more tailored than that. And it's a really important step. Just to give you an idea, 40% of the population have the MTHFR gene polymorphism. And if you have that gene polymorphisms, you're going to struggle to absorb just the regular form of folic acid. So you may need to look at folinic acid or methylfolate. But in order to have a proper picture of what's going on in your system, we need to run these tests. All right, then sleep. Sleep is super important, okay? Many people take sleep for granted. We need sleep. So you need to really make sure that you're going to sleep around the same time, that you're waking up around the same time, that you're not eating your dinners late and you're not having heavy dinners. Ideally, you should leave 2 to 3 hours between your dinner and bedtime. And that's to allow for the time for your food to be digested. So when you go to bed, you have energy to sleep and you don't have to digest your food. If you go to bed with a full stomach, or if you've eaten something heavy and your body's still trying to digest it, you're likely going to have poor sleep and you may even have nightmares. So it's important to make sure that your sleep environment is also healthy. It's not too hot, it's not too cold, there's no light pollution coming in or noise pollution. And also you want to be switching off your Wi-Fi off at night so that you are not interfering with melatonin production, a very important hormone when it comes to getting pregnant and staying pregnant. All right, the next area is exercise. And many patients ask me, what is the right way to exercise for fertility? Is there a right way to exercise for fertility? Well, in fact, there is. All right, so when you get your period until ovulation, you have plenty of energy and you are not pregnant during that time. So you can do your cardio, you can do your CrossFit, you can do exercises which are more demanding on your body. From the ovulation onwards, assuming you tried to get pregnant in that cycle, you want to take it easy because you could potentially already be pregnant from the ovulation onwards. So that means you want to do exercises such as yoga, maybe go for walks instead of runs. Just take it easy. You can still exercise, definitely move, get out there, move for 40 minutes a day to an hour. Try to get those 10,000 steps every day, but just moderate your type of exercise until you know if you're pregnant or not. And this is also going to depend on your exercise routines prior to getting pregnant. So if you're someone who's always been active, who's been running, maybe running marathons, jogging a lot, you may still continue to jog, but lightly in that second phase of your cycle. But if that's not you, if you just started recently, if you're going to the gym and you're just doing various classes and things, then you want to take it easy during that second half of your cycle while you're waiting to see if you're gonna get your big fat positive. And then lastly, the mind-body connection. Okay, it's super important and it's very overlooked. And in this day and age, women especially are just bombarded with so many negative messages when it comes to getting pregnant because of their age, because of this, because of that. And it can really lead to you holding on to beliefs which are not your own, okay? But these beliefs, because you believe them, because you have them inside of your mind, are influencing your subconscious mind, which controls pretty much everything in your system. So you want to feed your mind and your subconscious mind with positive, empowering beliefs and thoughts. So affirmations, meditations, visualizations, these are all super important and very powerful when it comes to getting pregnant and staying pregnant. Seeing yourself pregnant with that, big belly, and seeing yourself holding the beautiful newborn baby, taking in that smell, taking in, the scenes, looking at those tiny little hands and little fingers and them gripping your finger, visualizing these images so that your subconscious mind really believes this is reality, is what's going to help. Not believing that you're too old or that your eggs are of poor quality or, some other reason. You just need to really examine and evaluate all the beliefs that you have, just write them down and ask yourself, is this helping me? Is it helping me to have this belief? Is this belief going to take me closer to my goal and my desire and my dream or not? If not, you need to replace it. You need to use positive affirmations and visualizations to just replace it and believe that it's possible. And that's really important for your body also, to listen and obey to your command and to change things around for the better. All right, so at this point, after I've just shared with you 9 areas which are important for boosting fertility naturally and which are also part of the preconception care. So all of this is taking place, in 4 to 6 months prior to conception. So you want to start implementing all these steps prior to conception for at least 4 months. That's because it takes around 4 months for the egg cells to mature from the form you were born with to the form that you ovulate. So I'd like to share a client story with you at this point. And you can see this wonderful video on our homepage. So it's naturalfertilityprescription.com, and you can click on the tab Success Stories and you can actually watch this video. But there's a lady called Abby, and Abby and her husband worked with me, and they were, they were told they had to use IVF. That was their only option, and to hurry up. And Abby was only in her, early 30s. But the messages was this, were the same. Hurry up, you're getting too old, eggs are of poor quality, you need IVF, that's your only option. So in the program, Natural Fertility Prescription Program that we run, which goes for 16 weeks, we cover all of these areas of the preconception care, and Abby followed them all. And at the end of the 4 months, she was pregnant, and she called the IVF clinic to cancel her appointment, saying, I will not be needing you. And she gave birth to her beautiful baby boy. So it definitely works, and it also works for older couples. It's not just for younger, it works for everyone. Your body is programmed and destined to be healthy. You just need to give it the right environment to do that. So in today's video, we discussed the importance of the preconception care. We talked about a detox. We talked about the importance of fertility diet. We talked about the importance of tests for understanding what's going on. We talked about the importance of taking the right quality supplements for targeted issues. The importance of timing your cycle and knowing when you are most fertile. The importance of genetic testing. We covered sleep, we also covered exercise, and we covered mind-body connection, which is very important. So if you found this video helpful, I take a much deeper dive into this topic in my How to Restore Fertility and Get Pregnant Naturally report. You can access the report by clicking on the link above or below this video, or if you're watching this on Instagram, see the link in my bio. Stay tuned for more video tips to come, and I'll see you in the next video.